MAGA has turned into a bunch of leftists. I'm just going to be real with you. And I've been told you, if this war pops off, that I'm not going to be in agreement with it. And not only has this war popped off, but the economy has gotten worse. So affordability has gotten worse. Republicans are turning their back on the MAGA agenda altogether to make America first, or put America first again agenda altogether. And when I call it out, I get attacked by the same people that were supporting me 2 months ago. And I'm the one being fake. Like, really, dude? And I'm not saying you're saying that. I'm just saying that, bro, you can't sit here and act like nothing's wrong. You can't sit here and act like MAGA is not now acting like leftists. Bro, do you see these guys on Twitter? Do you see these MAGA influencers? Soon as you say one bad thing about Trump, they lose their shit. It's like, bro, it's like the left. When you say one good thing about Trump, they lose their shit. It's like the same thing. And it's irritating to sit there and look at it. And I'm not just going to sit there and not call it out because I used to be on that side. That's why I left that side, because they're acting like a bunch of snowflake liberals. But all right. I know. I know that's not what you're saying, but pretty much that's how I was pretty much taking it. Is that, yo, you can't say nothing about Trump or else you're just un-American and you're a traitor all of a sudden. The same people that put in more work for Trump than anybody. I'm be real with you. I put in more work for Trump than most of y'all people in the chat. I was actually campaigning for this man every single day, making good arguments for his cases, for his policies every single day. While y'all was just sitting on y'all ass. So please don't come at me with none of that. None of that bullshit. Not you, Chase. I'm talking to the guys in the chat. So you used to be MAGA. Yeah, when he was on our side.
He's failed. This administration
he hasn't failed. And when you're talking about this, Democrats were the ones who persecuted
that's true.
you. Democrats were the ones who...
And my bad, Chase. But no, you're right. You're right, though. You're right. Like, they used the name MAGA to try to invoke support. But here's the thing. They took it. They took it, bro. They took MAGA. Like, there's nothing we can do. Now, like I said, who's MAGA is all the people that agree with Trump. You cannot disagree with Trump and be MAGA anymore. That's why we had to create our own space with America First, because MAGA is their own thing now. They don't even care about America First. It's all about supporting Trump no matter what, out of fear of what the Democrats are doing. So they're only supporting Trump out of fear. And I don't think that's what you want to do, but that's what y'all telling me, though. Because when I say, well, guys, like we got to low-key put Trump in the right direction. Well, what are you going to do? Vote for the Democrats? Okay, so you're operating out of fear of the Democrats. Okay, that's not a good one. Trust me, operating out of fear don't get you nowhere good, but hey, keep it up.
In jail, they were the ones who didn't want to give you a fair trial. Me and my wife, we advocated for the release of J6ers everywhere that we possibly could, yourself included.
And I will give Trump that. That is the biggest victory. I will never regret voting for Trump because he did that.
Yeah,
never.
Huge victory, okay? But not only that, let's dive into this a little bit deeper. When you're talking about your supposed crucifixion now by the right, Trump hasn't shut down your channels. He hasn't done any of that. Under Biden, that was a sure thing.
Well, let's not be so sure that's not going to happen soon.
You say gonna, hasn't though. Okay, under Biden, it was a
Isn't that the whole point? Is none of this stuff has happened under Trump, and you're saying, oh, but it could.
Hang on, like, under Biden, no, it's not. Under Biden, it would have. For sure. He was working with Facebook and these other groups in order to shut down people who had podcasts. You have a voice right now. That's true.
Actually, what's kind of crazy is that, I ain't gonna lie, I always just say that Trump kind of let us down on the fact that he should have went after those social media companies for shutting down like channels, taking away people's livelihood just for disagreeing with what the Biden administration wanted you to believe. I think that there should have been like low-key a mass, like, what was it? What's they call it? Well, like, it's a lawsuit that involves multiple class action lawsuit. Yes, there should have been like a class action lawsuit for YouTube creators, for creators in general that lost their channels because the Biden administration didn't want you to spread what, medical misinformation or election fraud information. Like, yeah, some people should get their money back over that. And I think Trump should have stood up better for the people that were low-key defending his position about the 2020 election. He should have stood 10 toes down. Instead, he just got in power and kind of let us float down the river. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. That always did irk me the wrong way. I always did think he should have went harder against the social media companies for what they did. But instead, he kind of powed up to him and said, well, you're on my side now. So F what you did to the Americans back when I wasn't in power.
The president of the United States might have told you to shut the fuck up, but he still gave you a platform. Tell him to shut his fucking mouth. That's the distinction.
No, Trump did not. That's the First Amendment. That is the First Amendment. It was given to us by the founding
Biden
fathers.
didn't give a fuck about the First Amendment.
And
he
neither
was
does
working
Trump.
with the tech companies
and neither
to
does
shut you
Trump.
down.
Trump doesn't care either. Trump, they'll censor us under Trump. They already did. He did nothing.
Now I'll be real with you though, and Owen got a good point, because if Trump cares about first speech, then why doesn't he fix what's going on in Florida? What's going on in Florida? They have anti-Semitism laws where if you speak out against Israel, which is a violation of your freedom of speech, you will be punished. Remember, part of the First Amendment, the part of this great country, you could say anything without being, jailed or, punished by your government. And what Florida is doing is against the First Amendment, and Trump has not spoke up against it because it's Republicans doing it for Israel. So does Trump care about the First Amendment? I don't know. It kind of seems like he only cares when it doesn't have anything to do with Israel.
What are you talking? When did I get censored? What year?
No, the Trump administration.
I was censored under Trump 1. I was censored from 2018 to 2022.
Trump's administration censored you.
What did he do for it? What did he do to end the censorship?
That's different. You got to make a distinction.
No. You're the one making claims that Trump did something for me.
Yes, he did.
I'm not asking Trump to do anything for me. I'm saying that
he instructed his Department of Justice to stop putting pressure on Facebook and these other groups for censorship. He promised he would do that. But that is
happening. That's why he just brokered the deal to give the Ellisons everything so that they can censor the internet in favor of this war and foreign policy that's unpopular.
Where's that happening?
Right now. It just happened with TikTok. It just happened with Paramount.
No, yeah, it TikTok, did. They talk about the war constantly. I know. I'm on TikTok arguing with them constantly.
Ellison and Oracle are about to have all these databases. They're going to sell all of our private information.
Soon. But you've been wrong about futures before. And by the way,
wait a second.
Hold on. Now.
Okay, hold on a second.
I'm talking about
hold
right
on
now.
A second. When Doge ended, and then Musk called the Epstein files a hoax, and then struck Iran, I was called a panickin. I was called a panickin because I knew it meant we were getting into a war with Iran and a regime change war with Iran. I was called a panickin. I was called a panickin because if he did this, the MAGA coalition would be destroyed. And I was called a panickin because I said if he does this, we're going to lose the midterms. And now all three things of those have happened.
Except
you were
also wrong about Venezuela.
What was I wrong about Venezuela?
In Venezuela, you said that there's a good chance there that we're going to be bogged down on a war.
Never said that.
You did too.
No, I
did not. You said it on your show. Yes, you did.
No, I did not.
You said there's a good shot there. You were in the debate when you said it, in fact, with a caller. It's a good shot there would be bogged down as well.
What are you
talking about?
That's
what's funny to me. It's like every time I dive in to your view, it's always, down the road, he's going to do these bad things. Down the road, he's going to do this. Trump's administration hasn't censored you. Trump's administration did.
Well, I mean, let's be real though. We didn't really do regime change in Venezuela. We just took out one of their leaders, and then pretty much another leader from the regime stepped in who's willing to play nice with us. So the regime's still in power in Venezuela. But to speak to his point on the whole, what was it? Oh, he was being panicking about Venezuela. You know what? I think I stand vindicated on Venezuela, because I remember I was telling Monty and Gaming that, there's more support for this government than you guys are letting on. I know you're seeing the dancing Venezuelans or waving their flags and all this good stuff in Florida, but that doesn't reflect what the people are going or what the people feel in Venezuela. Because guys, when we kidnap Maduro, there's literally militias in the street, civilian militias in the street, pretty much asking for their leader back. Like, you understand that, right? And guess what? The only reason why these militias haven't gotten out of control is because the regime that their leader was a part of is still in place. So has anything really changed for the Venezuelan people? No, not really. Not at all. But I mean, at least we got their oil. I mean, at least we control that. That's cool.
Jail you? Trump's administration didn't do any of that. You just gave him credit for getting you released. And not only that, when we're talking about the economics of this thing, we diverted into this, which is fine. I think that speech is something that we need to debate about. But when we're talking about the economics, you still haven't actually told us how it is that you, Owen Shroyer, are going to make an offset for net negative migration without prices going up. There's going to be an
cut taxes.
That's an adjustment period.
You can cut taxes in a year.
Do you think that prices are going to immediately decrease because you cut taxes?
Prices don't have to decrease. You have more money in your wallet. You have more money in your bank account.
Well, actually, I mean, it is an expense. So, yeah, actually, prices will go down because of that expense is down. If you go and lower taxes, and I mean, a tax bill that maybe a company was paying like 30 mil on, they're going to be like, all right, we get to keep like 10 mil. We could lower prices down a little bit. We got a little bit of room now. So, yeah, I mean, if you take away from their expenses, then yes, they can lower prices. I mean, That's what I thought that was the plan when it came to, helping out Americans, making prices lower, bro. Huge tax cuts so that we can go ahead and have a little bit of room to bring down prices. Sorry, but not raise energy prices.
Not paying it to the government.
Again, those are adjustment periods that are incremental. It would be, so if you cut taxes immediately,
takes 1
right?
year.
And by the way, Trump doesn't unilaterally have the power to do that. He doesn't unilaterally have the power to just cut taxes. That has to go through Congress. And so this idea that you have, one thing he did do, and he did do well unilaterally with his executive orders, was with migration. And he did get us to the point where we're at a net negative of migration. Who would ever have given us that? Who out of anybody in the field would ever have given us net negative migration?
If Trump has a positive, it's definitely on the migration issue, but it's not perfect. He's still giving Chinese students, he's still letting Chinese students into these universities to save their ass. He's still letting the H-1B
decrease of the H-1Bs. But the Cato Institute recently said, in fact, cut down 136,000, 50% of the H-1Bs eliminated under Trump's policy. So yeah, it's true. Chinese immigrants can still come in and study under H-1B visas. 50% less of them. That's correct.
So don't you think that there should be an adjustment period, just like you said with taxes? Shouldn't there be an adjustment period for hiring Americans? Because what happened was that the farmers, agriculture, all these big businesses said, Trump, we have to have this cheap migrant labor.
That's correct, yes.
And so he caved and he let the donors get what they want. That's what Trump does. This is a donor class administration.
In this case, not only did he not cave, but the opposite happened.
What are you talking about? He's doing mass deportation?
No. He gave subsidies. And yes, there has not only has there been big time deportations, but it's border crossings. It's just new ones even coming in versus self-deporting is an amazing feature at a net negative. Same with immigration international.
No, you dumbass.
Which means legal immigration. So yeah, he did deal with them with subsidies. That was designed to keep the prices down. But again, if we follow your policy, which would be mine, you want them all out, right? I want all the Mexicans who are working illegally out of here.
I would say you can't, there's too many, but I would say you have to do at least the 15 that came in under Biden.
Well, you want to get rid of, I want them all gone. I want all the illegal immigrants gone, don't you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay, great. So if we get all the illegal immigrants out of California.
But Trump's not doing that.
Hang on. If we get all the illegal immigrants out of California tomorrow, right? What happens to the price of produce? Does it go up or down?
Well, we need an adjustment time, Andrew.
Hey, that's my whole point. We would need an adjustment time.
So we both agree that mass deportations is
all right, go. I guess I do got to read out the anti-Semitism laws for somebody because apparently you didn't read it all the way through. So Florida has enacted strict laws targeting anti-Semitism, most notably adopting the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition in 2024 to discover anti-discrimination policies in education. These laws include HB 269 and HB 187, punish harassment, prohibited projecting images on buildings without consent, and define anti-Semitism to include certain criticisms of Israel while forbidding violations of the First Amendment rights. So, definition of anti-Semitism, codified in Florida statute to include dehumanizing, demonetizing, and the stereotypical allegation about Jewish individuals, along with Holocaust denial. Pretty much saying that you're not allowed to have an opinion about Jewish individuals or opinions about the Holocaust. Criticism of Israel. The definition includes a double standard when criticizing Israel or drawing comparisons of modern-day Israeli policies to Nazis, but it clarified it does not apply to criticism of Israel that is similar to that of any other country. So you're not allowed. So it's pretty much saying that you're not allowed to have the opinion of comparing Israeli to Nazis. That's going against your First Amendment right. Education protection. No anti-Semitism in Education Act. Pretty much saying that according to them and what they deem as anti-Semitic, you're not allowed to teach that in education, what they deem. So it requires public schools and colleges to treat anti-Semitism with the same policy standards as racism, ensuring equal treatment for Jewish students facing discrimination. Here's the funny thing. They already did that. I mean, you don't really got to write that in paper. I mean, there's a standard for not having racism, and anti-Semitism is racism. But you see how, like, you kind of see how they're being treated as a special class, as if not being racism, like as is racism doesn't encompass, Jews as well. When we say don't be racist, we also mean to Jews as well. Don't be racist to Jews as well. I think that's pretty easy to, comprehend. All right. harassment and criminal acts, H269 makes it a felony to harass, threaten, or intimidate people based on religion or ethnic groups, which is already done. It also specifically bans projecting images onto buildings without permission. So, like I said, pretty much what I was saying is that, yes, they're pretty much controlling your freedom of speech, especially inside education, and what you can say about Israel. It's pretty much saying that you can't compare Israel to Nazi Germany, but you should be able to if you got freedom of speech. So, all right.
Failure of the administration.
What you're dealing with right now is an adjustment time due to the. How is net negative migration a failure?
We're not getting mass deportations. That's
you don't have to massively deport people who aren't coming in, dude. You don't have to.
They're already here.
Yes, and by the way, he's going after the criminal elements of those people first, which he's been doing. There's a net negative of them crossing into the border. If you had said day one with any Republican administration, we'd have only 1,000 border crossings a day versus 46,000 border crossings a day. You'd say it's the biggest fucking success anybody had ever seen.
Oh, guys, and you know what's funny? I read that off of Randy Fine's. Yeah, I read that off of Randy Fine's page. Yeah, house.gov. Yeah, that's where I got it from. Our guy Randy Fine. Like, believe it or not. Yeah, see, Congressman Randy Fine, 6th District, Florida. Like, he's the one pushing this anti-Semitism law and pretty much trying to control what your kid learns about the Holocaust or anything in school when it comes to Jews. So let's say your teacher is pro-Palestine, right? It is now illegal for your teacher to teach you anything that is bad about Israel, right? And that's pretty much what you're saying. So they're basically controlling how we learn basically speech in our classroom and other things as well. And this all comes off Randy Fine's website. So, yeah. But Trump don't talk about this, though.
How about this?
Somehow with Trump, though, Trump gets exactly that done day one. No. And Owen goes, well, what have you done for me lately?
What is the number? What is the number that you would be happy with of deportations for Trump's 4 years?
Overall number?
Yeah.
Probably I would want to see like happy with, you said, versus what would be optimal that I'd want to see.
Let's put a reasonable but good expectation number.
I mean, I would be happy if it was the case that we had no new immigrants coming in. I think that's a massive success.
We agree that Trump has had a success. Let me answer my own question, then you can respond. Yeah. I think if Trump doesn't deport at least 15 million people, which seems like an impossibility, but they came here, we can get them out. There's strategies to do it. Yeah. I think 15 million. If it's less than that, I think we got a problem.
Well, the entirety of the basis for the 15 million number, you would agree with me, there's way more than 15 million.
Probably like 40, maybe.
Or 50.
Yeah.
It's very high.
Yeah.
So if it is the case that it's very high that we have this amount of illegals that are here, that's going to take a long time. And Trump has Trump has been hampered. He was moving towards this. He's been hampered in the courts, again, 3 times the amount of injunctions any other president when it comes to illegal immigration. And he's trying to unilaterally do this because Congress isn't working with him. He's hamstrung at every level. He's using executive orders to push that through. And it's been wildly successful with the tools that he has. You have to say that that's successful. A net negative migration.
I've said that that's the one success, but
that's the big success.
I just don't think that it's going to be where it needs to be. I think that he's caved on the mass deportations. And at the end of the day, as much as both of us would like to see every single illegal immigrant deported, I think that
but if they are, the prices are going to go up, right?
I think that you can negate that by not getting them into another war in the Middle East.
The war in the Middle East, are you kidding me? You think that that's the budget buster in comparison?
Absolutely. He's asking for $1.5 trillion in the next defense budget.
Nothing.
We pay $1 trillion in interest on our debt.
Do you know what our entitlements are in comparison to military spending? But that's my whole point. When we're talking about entitlements, the number one spending, not military. That's one.
I think interest is about to take entitlements.
Well, maybe, but the number one spending right now is entitlements is 3 times higher than military spending. 3 times.
That's a bit unfair though, because our entitlements include, Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. So to combine those 3 expenditures to military isn't really fair. Because if you compare it one by one, I ain't gonna lie, military spending is actually rivaling some of them as well. And I'm not saying we do need to cut in those areas. Like if we actually want to balance the budget, we need to cut in those 3 areas right there. We do need to make cuts in Social Security. We do need to make cuts in Medicare. We do need to make cuts in Medicaid, and also make some substantial cuts in military as well. And that's how we'll balance the budget, to be quite honest with you. But nobody really want to balance the budget, to be real with you guys. I'm telling you this right now because what I just told you guys, you probably disagree with. How we need to cut all these expenditures, but you're going, but what about the old people setting Social Security? I mean, bro, do you want to have a country or not? Okay, then old people going to have to kick rocks on that note then, because it's a wealth transfer from the youngest generation to the oldest generation. The oldest generation is doing good. We're the ones that's suffering right now. So I'm sorry, but can't have a heart for them forever. Medicaid and Medicare, trust me, I understand the importance of it, but trillions of dollars is not helping us out. We got to low-key cut that just to go ahead and fix the budget. Same thing with military. We shouldn't be spending this much on military, but we are for some crazy reason. And then we don't even get into war every year. So that needs to be cut as well if we actually want to fix the budget. If not, I mean, just, hey, keep the reckless spending going. Shoot, and fuck it, increase it.
Most of those entitlements are coming in because of illegal immigration and mass migration. You know this. I've heard you say it yourself.
I have a zero tolerance for any welfare.
Yeah, I've heard you say it yourself. So if that's the case, you're not going to be able to do this without a transitory period where prices go up.
It's been a
when
year.
You see all of these jobs, first of all, real wage growth have gone up 1.3% because the jobs are finally going to Americans.
The economy's bad. You can throw numbers every day. The economy is bad. More Americans are living paycheck to paycheck.
Are real wages up or down?
Down.
Okay, so how far down are they?
They're as down as they've ever been.
They're as down as they've ever been, ladies and gentlemen.
Anybody can cook these numbers.
These wages are as down as they've ever been. No, the wages are up. Are you going
to tell Americans that they're doing good financially?
I didn't say there's not room for improvement. We're talking about whether or not Trump is successful. I think that Americans would be doing worse if real wages were at net negative like they were under Biden. And that real wages have gone up 1.3%. It's a major thing.
And cost of living has gone up 2.3%.
And guess what? That'll go down when you get rid of mass migration and immigrants.
The conclusion of the...
I mean, according to you, bro, that won't matter because prices are going to go up in other areas. So, bro, pick an argument.
Open dialogue. Gentlemen, thank you very much. That was a riveting open discussion.
I think we take questions.
Yeah, I know. Take us one.
By the way, that's how a gentleman debates. So
that was truly amazing. And we'd like you folks in a few minutes to get ready for the Q&A, as that'll go for 30 minutes. But first, want you to get ready for some groundbreaking news from Farm Easy Bank, a sponsor of this event, and your trusted ally in health.
Whoops.
Bloodstream. When you remove the toxins, you restore your edge. It's about total
1,000 girls 15 and under each year getting married. Now.
All right, let's go to questions.
To remind you, Q&A. If you can come down this aisle, this is where we will have.
His wife is hilarious.
More questions.
That's wild.
This is rigged. This is rigged right here.
100%.
How does she get first question?
100% it's rigged.
Check the ID.
She was
and
in the
folks,
front row.
I have to remind you.
Where are the borders of this place?
For the Q&A, it's absolutely essential. We want to press you to get to your question as fast as possible. And no double questions. No, I've got to.
Hey,
with that, I'm also even going to hold the microphone just to be sure. With that, thank you very much, Rachel.
Okay, so since this is going to be disingenuously framed as Andrew loves Epstein now, I just want to say many of you were very happy about a lot of Owen's points on Epstein, and I am too. And Andrew did make clear we don't think he's good. We don't think pedophilia is good. Given that.
No, we know you don't think it's good. The problem is Andrew didn't know shit. He didn't even know that Epstein was convicted for prostitution of a minor. He did not know that. So it's not that he supports it, it's that he don't know enough to even speak on it.
There are 30 to 40,000 girls 15 and under each year getting married in Iran. And there are 2.
Yeah, that's about the same amount of girls, underage girls, is getting married in America. You know that, right? So what she said right here, what, 20,000? Yeah, we got the same number of little girls, 12, 15-year-olds getting married in America. What's your point?
Given that, since there are 30 to 40,000 girls 15 and under each year getting married in Iran. And there are 2.3 million girls and women living in Iran right now.
2.3 million? You only think there's 2.3 million? Hey, lady, are you dumb? I'm sorry, guys, but in a country of 93 million, you really think there's only 2.3 million women in Iran? Bro, y'all don't know shit. Yo, the whole family don't know shit about Iran. What? 2.3 million women in Iran in a country of 93 million people. Guys, does that mathematically make sense to you when women usually make up majority of the population because, you know, any species need more women than men, you know, for reproduction reasons. So what? Yo, she don't know anything about it. I'm sorry. That is crazy math right there. Like, you don't know anything if that's the case.
Points on Epstein, and I am too. And Andrew did make clear we don't think he's good. We don't think pedophilia is good. Given that, since there are 30 to 40,000 girls 15 and under each year getting married in Iran, and there are 2.3 million girls and women living in Iran right now who were married before they turned 15. And this was not the case before this regime took over. There were 18 and up marriage laws prior to 1979. If we can get rid of this regime and the regime change eliminates this child marriage in the millions, would that?
All right, guys. So let me go ahead and pull this up right here. So based on data from 2000 to 2018, nearly 300,000 children were married in the U.S., with approximately 1,300 plus cases involving children ages 14 and younger, while 96 of the cases involve 16 and 17-year-olds. Hundreds of children ages 15 and younger are married annually in the United States, according to Unchained, at least. And Unchained is, let's see here. Yeah, Unchained, unchainedlast.org, United States child marriage problem. I mean, United States child marriage problem. I mean, you act like we don't got it. But she said, what, 20 to 30,000? You acting like this shit don't happen in America? Like, sis, people, yes, it does. And this is not me trying to be a dick. I'm just being real with you guys. Yes, the United States has a child marriage problem, but a simple solution is available. Nearly 300,000 minors under the age of 18 were legally married in the USA between two. Like, come on, guys. As few as were young as 10 years old. So it's all good now, though. It's all good now. It's all good. And here's the thing. She said 20,000 child marriages out of 2 million women, but that's the wrong number of women in Iran because there's 93 million people. So most likely probably in there between 10 to 20 million, maybe more than that. So yeah, it's kind of funny how y'all want to sit there and act like this don't happen as well. But okay. It's all good though.
That be worth it to you, all of you who are upset about the Epstein files? Would that be something that you would support?
Well, I'd have to know what the worth it payoff is. No, I'm inclined to say no too. I'm inclined to say no too because Iran is not my country. We've been in the Middle East for decades, for my entire life.
So we only care about pedophilia when it's here. We don't care about 2.3 million children being married off to old men in Iran.
I care.
Yeah. First off, where's your proof of that? Because the average age in Iran, which I've went over multiple times, for women is 24, 25, guys. So, like I said, where are you getting this from? Because the evidence, I mean, all the data points to, well, I guess I'll show it again, guys, because apparently people just like to lie to you. And I don't know what's up with the Wilsons, but they just have a problem with, well, I guess Islam in general. Because sorry, lady, but no, that's not true at all. At all.
Care about fixing my country first, and I feel that our presence in the Middle East has not resulted in anything positive.
So then at least.
Oh, okay. I mean, shoot, I was hoping somebody was gonna say it. So, what's the average age of marriage in Iran? Average age of marriage in Iran. As of 2024, 2025, the average age in Iran has risen approximately to 2.5 to 30 for men and around 25 for women. Yes, The average, the AKA the majority. Well, let me go ahead and read the rest. While overall people are married later, child marriage still occurs with 17% of girls marrying before 18 and with over 27,000 girls marrying under 15 in 2021 to 2022. So to sit there and say that, oh, 2 million women, yeah, that's not true. That's not true at all. And the numbers don't even prove it. And she's saying just from what, a couple years. We got 1 year alone, it's only 27,000. And that's bad. That's bad. We don't want it to happen at all. But to sit there and act like this is a common thing, like this is just the average thing they do, is a lie. And I'm showing it to you right here. So, hey.
Please be honest that it's not about pedophilia.
It's not.
You do not care about pedophilia.
And yes, if you're being honest with yourself, you're not an idiot like this guy right here. Yeah, average means nothing. Yeah, if you're an idiot like that, you would understand that average is what happens the majority of the time. So you can't sit there and say it's these guys practice child marriage when majority of their marriages are between adults. I would hope that's pretty easy for you to understand without being, a low IQ idiot. I'm sorry, but bro, I guess you're just not smart enough to be in here.
Well, if you want to change Iran, I'm sure that they'll take you over there. You can go over there and fight the regime change war of the administration if you care so much about it.
The point is.
No, I didn't.
Hold on.
Do not care about pedophilia whatsoever. You're just ass mad.
What? Sis, your man didn't even know that bro was prostituting minors. You're bringing up something from Iran that's not even true. You said there's 2.3 million child marriages. When? Where's the time frame? Because there's child marriages that go on in America too. And here's the thing, you're right. We should mainly care about what's going on in our country, by the way. Owen Shroyer has a pretty good point about, let's work about the pedophilias in our country, because those are who matter the most. And apparently the old girl don't like that answer. Well, you don't want to talk about the pedophilias in Iran because those aren't our pedophiles that we got to deal with. The ones that are in danger to all children are the ones that live here, not in Iran. So that's also the point there as well. So not only don't the numbers match up, but the relevancy to the American people don't even matter. Well, don't line up.
Our presence in the Middle East has not resulted in anything positive.
So then at least be honest that it's not about pedophilia. You do not care about pedophilia whatsoever. You're just ass mad. That's bullshit.
Well, if you want to change Iran, I'm sure that they'll take you over there. You can go over there and fight the regime change war of the administration if you care.
Yeah, you can go over there and be a feminist, says the girl. And here's the thing, though. What's so funny? She's the one that go against feminists the hardest. But when it comes to Iran, bro, these women turn into the biggest conservatives, bro. Iran turned conservatives into feminists. All of a sudden, now they're talking about, they should be able to dress in a bikini and dress modestly. Oh, if they want to go into OnlyFans, they should too if they want to. It's like, bro, Iran turned conservative women into feminists, and it's hilarious.
So much about it.
The point is.
No, I didn't. No.
The point is consistency. If the entirety of the consistency is, if Trump isn't actively going after pedophiles, he's supporting pedophiles.
Hang on. A statement about this war. He's never mentioned that Iran.
Hang on, let me make the point. If that is the case, well, why does he need to mention a thing that's known? But anyway, if it is the case that it's not consistent, hey, man, if Trump isn't actively going after what I think is a U.S. pedophile ring that I can't even prove exists, then he's supporting pedophiles. But over in Iran, where you literally see him blowing them up, where's the consistency there, man?
He blew up 200 school children. Nobody has mentioned fighting pedophilia as part of this war. It's a regime change war for Israel to get control of the Middle East. That's what this is all are And so, no, I don't support that.
Are the Iranians? Is it
Iranians bad? Iranians bad.
Is it institutional to the? Is it institutional? Is it institutional to the Iranians under Sharia law that they're allowed to marry kids or not?
When every American has a backyard,
I'll tell you what. Answer the question.
Barbecue pit and a pool, then we can go police the world.
Can you answer the question? Is it the case that institutionally Sharia allows you to marry children or not?
I'm not interested in
better than
Sharia. I don't
them.
want it in my
Can
country.
you answer my
I'm sick of
question? Can you
talking about it.
answer the question?
Actually, no, I actually looked up the actual statistic too. So I asked, so how many children are in forced marriages and child marriages in Iran? And it said over the last decade, bro, they got the same number as us, about 400,000, and ours was 300,000 for like 8 years. So we're not too far off from Iran when it comes to child marriages, guys, like at all. At all. That's why it's kind of funny how we sit here and judge. And that's why I don't really think we should sit here and judge them. I mean, look, I don't really care about the pedophiles in Iran. I care about the pedophiles that might possibly be running our country and the ones that are running around in our streets. So that's it. That's all. I mean, you guys can sit there and cry about Iran all you want, but that's not fixing anything. You're not going to go over there and remove the Ayatollah and give women's rights. You're not doing it. So shut the fuck up about it and stop crying. All right. Worry about how women are doing here. That's all you got to do. Worry that women are not getting trafficked here. I mean, shoot, I see women cry more about women in Iran than what's going on with women in America.
Owen?
Yes, Sharia is bad. I don't like Sharia. I condemn
okay.
Korea.
So then the idea that she has is in fact the case. She's talking about consistency. If Trump is covering for pedophiles by not arresting who you think are pedophiles with no evidence, then you're supporting pedophiles by not letting him kill them in Iran.
It's different. It's my country versus Iran. Okay, I live in America. I want to fix America. If you want to fix Iran, go to the Middle East.
Literally,
stopping you.
It's not about fixing Iran. It's about the consistency of your life.
No, bro. Here's the problem. Like, even the whole you bringing up pedophiles in Iran, you're trying to frame it as if all Muslims are pedophiles. That's not a good argument, bro. It's really not. And you're trying to say you're trying to match up to his consistency. I mean, dog, if you're going to talk about being consistent, then you got to hold your own religion to the same standard. We'd have to call you guys a bunch of pedophiles in the Bible Belt because that's where it's mostly practiced, child marriages. But we're not going to do that because not all of y'all.
Logical position, which is not
so
logical.
It's not about fixing Iran, but that's the entire basis of your statement.
It's not a logical position to say, oh, I'll oppose it in this one hand, and if Trump doesn't do that, he's supporting it. But on the other hand, if I take us away from killing them in Iran, that's not him supporting pedophilia. It's bizarre.
Huh? No, I'm good.
Oh, okay, you got it.
Yeah,
okay.
So wouldn't being successful on at least your primary promise of a thing be considered success?
No.
Okay.
If I hit one home run in a 10-inning game and we lose, that's not a success.
So is it the case though that Trump has been hugely successful when it comes to mass migration? He has been successful in that arena, and that was one of his #1 promises.
Yeah, I said yes. I said that's been a success.
Yes.
That's one of, like, if there's 10 issues.
But that's all negated by a 7-week war.
It's a separate issue, and he's failed.
All right. First, Andrew Wilson. I first learned about the Orthodox Church from you, and my family and I were just baptized into the church this past Christmas. Christ is risen. Second, Owen, you've made a lot of comments about prosecutions and reducing taxes, all while neglecting the fact that these require 2 other branches of government working with Trump. The Judiciary branch has consistently blocked him and almost every single move he's made, and it's had to go to the Supreme Court I don't know how many times. Meanwhile, Congress, no thanks to Republicans in Congress, by the way, have dragged their feet on almost every single issue. So why are you putting all the responsibility on Trump when we've got 2 other branches of government?
Well, Trump appointed the attorney general, and she failed him. So he did that. He appointed that. So I don't know.
It's not the judiciary, dude.
So I don't know what.
He's asking about the judiciary of radical judges, which have blocked Trump every chance they get. It was so bad, in fact, that the
but doesn't Trump pretty much got the overwhelming advantage on the Supreme Court? You know, the court that really matters, that outweighs all of those federal and district judges. He has the Supreme Court. So I'm sorry, but stop all that crying and bitching. My man has the Supreme Court. He's been winning most of his Supreme Courts except for the tariff case. Bro was winning in the courts. So what are you talking about? He's getting his way in the courts except for the tariff. Actually, even with the tariff case, he got his way because he still got the tariffs invoked, and they just said you got to do it another way. So I'm sorry, but bringing up we are allowed to sit here and bring up the fact that he does kind of control the courts because he pretty much packed the Supreme Court. They're filled with mainly conservatives that support Trump. So I'm sorry, but you can't sit there and try to separate the two because he has control of the House. He has control of the Supreme Court because they're mainly Republicans. I'm sorry, but y'all don't really have a good excuse there. You can't just say, "Oh, well, you got to put it off on the judiciary eventually, or the legislative." It's like, yeah, but he controls the House and the Senate. Mainly Republicans. So sorry, we can't give him that. And the judges with the most authority are mainly Republican, which are the Supreme Court justices.
Supreme Court finally had to step in and say, look, sorry, California, you can't set immigration policy for the rest of the country.
Do you believe these judges are corrupt?
Many of them, yes.
So then why don't we do something about corruption?
Because in this case, corruption is a matter of spectrum between political ideology. The Democrats believe that they're doing something which is well within the purview of federal judges to do. And it was within their purview to do until that was recently constitutionally lifted by the Supreme Court, who said federal judges in California can't anymore say, hey, Texas, this is going to be the new standard for immigration law. They were blocking Texas immigration law in radical courts in California, dude.
They were.
He's been hamstrung at every level by the judiciary. 100% that's true. The Supreme Court, which he appointed, he's had massive victories there.
Well, not according to him recently. But I just find it amazing that the Biden.
See, I mean, you went against your own point. You're trying to say that, oh, yeah, he doesn't have really any control with these courts, but all he has to do is appeal, send it up to the Supreme Court, and he takes the dub every time. So, yeah, you can't really say that he doesn't really control the courts because all you have to do is send it up to the Supreme Court, and they usually agree with Trump every time.
Administration can make thousands of prosecutions and arrests within months, but this administration can't do anything about Epstein clients or about the deep state.
Thousands of arrests of who?
Myself and January 6th.
Yeah, so they were able to utilize the power of the media to paint all of you guys as being violent extremist insurrectionists in order to get the public on their side. In this particular case, not only Democrats, but on your side, people have weaponized the media instead to paint Trump out as though he's part of some pedophilic satanic elite, thus getting the one thing he always had in his teeth was the media. And you guys have done everything you can to take that away through this obfuscation of Epstein and the Epstein files. When we have way bigger fish to fry in domestic policy for sure, and you still don't even have any evidence of any of those claims, which is wild.
This is for Owen. So if Trump could only do one thing that would make you change your mind, would you rather him act more on the E-files or where we're currently at with Iran? Which one is a bigger issue for you?
I would say probably bring the troops home, generally speaking. Bring them all home. And I think you win the midterms if you do that. I think you save face with everything. If you come out tomorrow and you say we're done in the Middle East and we're bringing all of our troops home, I think you sweep the midterms.
I mean,
this is mainly for both of y'all. I just want to ask, how can we get our economy to rebound after the negative effects of the tariffs, especially on American manufacturing workers? I myself actually work at a industrial plant that produces grinding wheels for brakes. And our business, we had to increase prices a lot because costs of raw materials went up a lot because it was harder to import them because all the chromium and manganese comes from China.
Sure.
So I'm wondering, what is y'all's stance on how we could get the economy back and get the prices back down?
Well, I was a big fan and still am of tariffs. What the tariffs were used for, people get it wrong all the time. They think that it was just willy-nilly. It wasn't. What happens is if you have the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, so this means that, these are tax-free imports and exports. So if Canada imports a bunch of stuff from China, who we have a 25% tariff on, and then just labels it Canada, don't they avoid any of our tariffs, the Chinese? Yes. So what that is it's closing back doors by putting tariffs on westernized nations. And there's no possible way, by the way, for you to raise revenue in the United States. You only have two ways to do it: taxes or tariffs. So Harris's idea was that she was going to get rid of the corporate tax breaks, and that was going to drastically increase prices because it has to. Trump's idea was that he was going to fight a tariff war with potential future enemies and people who are adversaries with us on the global stage now. You'd pick your poison. Which one would you want to see?
Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I think Andrew and I would probably agree with most these issues. I'm a little concerned about that you talk about your company specifically is so reliant on China. This is something, whether it's Trump or the next president or Biden, all of our presidents have been put into a deep ditch because our Congress has sold us out to mostly West Asia, China. That's why everything is made over there. So now we're basically reliant. These minerals you're talking about, rare earth minerals, we're basically reliant. Pharmaceuticals, we're extremely reliant. And that's because Congress for the last 20, 30 years has completely sold us out.
Through bribes and kickbacks, by the way.
And so we're screwed on that deal. I would say I support tariffs too. I would agree with Andrew that I support tariffs. The problem that the president has, and he did get screwed, I think, by the Supreme Court on this deal.
He did.
But the problem that you have is we have so many corporate taxes, we have so many regulations. It's like you're already so deep in the hole. You talk about your company. What I'd like for President Trump to do, since the tariffs look like they're not going to work now, I'd like to see him get corporate tax rates as low as possible. I'd like to see him. Remember when he came in the first administration, he had that big display and he cut the red tape and it was getting rid of all this regulation. I think that that's the best plan right now. I think we just have to get rid of as much regulation as possible, get rid of the corporate tax rates as much as possible. And that is one that you can mostly blame on the Democrats, but the Republicans went along for the ride.
Trump extended his tax cuts and is going to continue to the extension of tax cuts. Not only that, he does want to get them lower. When he's talking about regulation, especially as we dive into this, you have to remember a couple things. The first thing is that he did get screwed on the tariffs. Okay, the best thing on planet Earth would have been for him to continue to raise revenue through tariffs. That way you can lower taxes. But how are you going to raise revenue, man? How are you going to raise revenue without tax increases or tariffs? You can't do it.
Can I make a suggestion, actually? What I'd like to see is I'd like a policy that if you're going to come here and work, whatever money you're going to send overseas, we're going to tax that at least 50%.
Yeah, remittances.
Honestly, I'd tax it at 80%.
But remittances will do hardly anything. That's the problem.
But
even
you know
if you
what?
tax
But
those
it might not change much financially, Andrew, but people will stop doing it. They'll either stop coming here or they're going to stop sending the money home because we're just going to keep it.
People would still work in the United States. Illegal immigrants would still come in here, even if you had a 10% tax on remittances, because it's still way more money than they're going to be.
Then I'd go 80%.
Yeah, but you're never going to get 80% through. And that's not the thing Trump can unilaterally do. Again, you'd have to have both houses. In this case, at least Congress would have to act on that. So I love the idea.
We had Congress for a minute. We had Congress for a minute. Now.
Yeah.
But could you say that just the money being made due to the large amounts of goods we have to import from China, could that also boost it? Because China, they are far too big of an industrial power for us to just cut off. They produce half the world's steel. Yeah. They have 4 times our population, and their industry has been expanding rapidly for
That's
around
what the
70
tariff
years.
war was for.
Yeah, I agree.
The tariff war was designed to weaken the Chinese economy as much as possible, and Democrats and some of the never Trumpers and some of the Republicans who don't like Trump really went after him for tariffs because they made the same argument.